What's going on? You guys were asking me to go back and do some pre-recorded content, so I figured why not bring back something that I only ever did one time, Tears for Fears. It's the tier list of the years starting in 1980. I've done one from 1980. Now we're up to 1981. Should I dive into this? Should I tally these things up on this tier? I think that's what we're going to do. Let's get into it, baby. Here we go. Welcome back to the channel once again. Appreciate you stopping in, even if just for a minute. Really do appreciate it. Faccis Cinema, I'm Facci, and today we are going to do another tier list, which I haven't done in almost a year. So time sure does fly when you're on YouTube having fun. But today I'm going to be doing 1981, the horror movies that I have seen. It's going to be a good time. There are a lot of bangers in 1981, of course, but let me go ahead and bring up the tier list to the screen. You can see on here there are categories of horror perfection, Don't Go Out Tonight, Above the Fog, This Movie is Jinxed, and You're All Doomed. And then also another category of Have Not Seen, because there probably are going to be some movies on here that I have not got a chance to check out. So they are going to land in the Have Not Seen category. But we're going to first start off this bad boy with none other than American Werewolf in London. And now, you know, this movie is a classic in the werewolf genre. It is a classic of 81, and it is a black comedy with a lot of horror in it. Obviously, the characters are fun. You know, the comedy, you know, a little bit of hit or miss in this one, but the transformation of the werewolf, probably the best in horror movie, if not cinema history. You cannot go wrong. You got the slaughtered lamb. It's great. It is really, really good. The love connection between the nurse and David, it works so well. This one obviously has to go in to horror perfection, ladies and gentlemen. Up next is an Italian horror movie, I believe. I have not got around to seeing it, entitled The Black Cat. I've seen it around, but I have unfortunately never had the opportunity to watch it. So, yeah, if you want to check it out, go ahead, but I have not seen it, and that's okay. Up next, we have Blood Beach. Honestly, I started this movie. I made it about 10 minutes in. I did not like the premise. I thought it was goofy. The sand is killing people. I couldn't take it seriously. I did not want to continue it anymore. It was draining me of my life. So that's just going to go in You're All Doomed. I can't even give you a 100% answer if it is even worth the final watch because I shut it off. But yeah, in my opinion, it is definitely You Are Doomed because it was awful. Another one coming up here, we have, let's see, Bloody Birthday. Now, this is a movie that has some of the most pieces of shit children you're ever going to see in a movie. Like, you are not going to want to hang out with these kids. You're not going to want your kids to associate with them. Yes, it may be bullying, but in this instance, it's okay because these kids are assholes. Something about they were born on the same day as like an eclipse or some shit. Very weird plot, but very sick and twisted. I like this movie a lot just on the fact that you hate the kids so much that you can't wait for them to die. But you're going to have to find out if they actually do or not because I don't want to give anything away in case you haven't seen it. But for me, I'm going to just go ahead and say this movie's kind of middle of the road. I'm going to say this movie is Above the Fog for me. Let's see what else we got. Okay, Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker. This was part of an inspiration for Halloween Ends. A lot of people have probably not seen this movie. It's the tale of like an overpossessive aunt who took custody of her nephew, and she is a freak. Let me just put it that way. She doesn't want anybody to talk to her nephew. She doesn't want him to do anything else. She doesn't want him to go play basketball or be with girls or any of that stuff. So it's kind of one of those movies that she just becomes over obsessive and starts to kill anyone that gets in between them. It's a fun watch. I definitely would probably check it out at least one time in your life. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one Above the Fog as well. Let's see what else we got. Dark Night of the Scarecrows. I remember enjoying this movie as a child. It's like a made-for-TV kind of movie. Definitely gives that vibes throughout. personally, it's maybe a one-time watch and done. You more or less feel bad for the guy who they think he murdered someone, but he really didn't. And if he did, it was an accident. I honestly don't remember. It's been a while since I've watched this one, probably over a year ago. But it's definitely a slower burn. I was like waiting for the slasher elements to kick in. They really never do. And for me, I know a lot of people are probably not going to like this. I'm going to say this movie is jinxed. It's just not one that I'm personally going to go back and rewatch. Brings me to Dead and Buried. This is a very interesting take on a zombie. The sheriff and his wife live in this town. He has no idea that there is a guy there they're killing people and then bringing them back to life. And he kind of thinks it's more of like an art form and he's doing them a favor. But the sheriff is having no part of it. Very interesting premise. Love the seaside town atmosphere. Definitely, not a normal take on a zombie flick. So I would definitely recommend at least checking it out once for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and put that one in Above the Fog as well. All right. This brings me to Deadly Blessing. This is a Wes Craven film. One of his not as well known films. Definitely a slower burn. It was not for me. It takes place in the Amish country, and I don't know if there's like a demon or what the hell there is, but I was not feeling it. I was not into it at all. And if you like it, that's great. But for me, it's going into You're All Doomed. I would never, ever watch that again. All right. This is a freaking classic right here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking Evil Dead, the classic, the OG. I didn't grow up on these movies, so it wasn't for me. I definitely can see why people enjoy them. But for me personally, just couldn't get into it. I'm more of a remake guy myself, and I know I'm going to take some shit for this. I don't think it's bottom of the barrel bad, but it's just not good enough for me. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. This movie is jinxed. Please don't hate me. I apologize. Let's see what we got here. Final Exam. I know my boy Lee from Drum Dums just rewatched this bad boy. I'm not a huge fan of it at all. It's like Ninja Michael Myers, really, when it comes down to it. There's some kills. It has one of the greatest pranks in movie history that today you would never, ever get away with putting it in a film. But I just don't really want to go back and rewatch this movie. So I'm going to go with this movie's jinxed as well. So far, we're not starting off on the right foot. We're on the downward trend, unfortunately, until now. Friday the 13th, Part 2. Do I even need to give an explanation? We get introduced to Jason, Sackhead Jason. I absolutely love this movie. It is in my top 2 in the entire franchise. And I think it deserves to go. Oh, we got to scroll. Horror perfection. And I don't care. Who knows it, damn you? Let's see what else we got here. We got Full Moon High. This is a werewolf movie, kind of along the Teen Wolf vibes. Not as good. It's a few years or before Teen Wolf. Not as good. Was not a fan of it at all. So I'm going to go ahead and put that one in You're All Doomed. I did not like that movie at all, my friends. But you know what is a movie I liked a lot? The freaking Prowler, ladies and gentlemen. The Prowler is a really, really good movie. It has a really cool killer look. Probably some of the best special effects you're ever going to see. It's not perfection. It is a little slow in the middle. The killer, honestly, I didn't know who it was going to be. It's a great whodunit, in my opinion. But if you're looking for Tom Savini dominating the kills, you're going to want to check this out. It goes in Don't Go Out Tonight. Definitely stay in and watch The Prowler. In my perfectly honest opinion. This brings me to another one that I grew up with and loved very much. The Funhouse. Love the Funhouse setting. Love the haunted attraction. The killer's look is so unique, and whenever you actually see him for the first time, you're like, what the hell is that? It's creepy. The lighting is great. The cinematography is so good in this movie. The music works well. The carny atmosphere, like the carnies are creepy all in themselves without the main killer. I got to put this one in Don't Go Out Tonight and have a double feature with The Prowler and The balls. All right. Here we go. Graduation Day. Very interesting movie. One of those prototypical slashers from the 80s. Nothing really too memorable about this movie. I wouldn't say it's great. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's kind of just middle of the road. But it's not a movie that I'm going to go back to ever, so I probably have to put that bad boy in. This movie is Jinxed, which brings me to my boy Michael Myers in Halloween 2. I'm a huge Halloween guy, obviously, from the background behind me. I am all Halloween every day, all day. But Halloween 2 for me is just a kind of a middle-of-the-road movie. But it's so iconic being that it followed the original from 78. And it had those same vibes throughout, just with a little more Friday the 13th killing action. So probably a year ago, I'd probably have this lower. But I'm also going to put Halloween 2 in Don't Go Out Tonight. I think it's that good, and it should be as high. It's not perfection, but it's a little bit underneath it. All right. Happy Birthday to Me. Very interesting premise. The shish kebab kill is the coolest part about this movie, if I'm being honest. Definitely a little slow for me. I didn't really vibe with this movie. A girl, yeah, I'm not into it. I'm not into this movie at all. If you're into those like hidden slashers that people don't talk about as much, then Happy Birthday to Me is probably on like that B tier level. You might want to give it a watch just to say you did check it out. The ending is weird and you know, I love the table scene at the end with all the dead bodies laying around. But other than that, I just could not get into this movie, and I'm gonna have to put that one in this movie as Jinx. I'm sorry. Brings me to Linda Blair in Hell Night. She was beautiful. Her boobies were popping. The killer, you know, a mongoloid living in a castle. The kills were not very good. Police security at the police station is very weak. That's what this movie taught me. The atmosphere is pretty cool, like the castle, the dark and, you know, haunted house type of castle's fine. We get the pretty boy from Friday the 13th, the final chapter, the guy who sings in the shower. He's in this movie. What's his name? Peter Barton, I think his name is. Maybe I could be wrong. But then just a forgettable movie for me. I'm going to go with this movie is Jinx. It doesn't work for me. Let's see what else we got here. Just Before Dawn. I know that, like I said earlier, Lee McCoy is a huge fan of this movie. It's another camp slasher, very, you know, low budget camp slasher. But I think it delivers more in the slasher aspect than a bunch of these other movies on this list. So for me, I would put this one as average above The Fog for me. I think this list is starting to come together. I'm liking where these placements are. I'm going to be curious to see where you guys think that I messed up in what movies should be higher, what movies should be lower. I'm looking forward to checking it out. Here we go. My Bloody Valentine. Now, I know this isn't the most action-packed slasher. This isn't, you know, one of the best slashers ever made. But for me, the killer's look is amazing. The atmosphere in the coal mine is great. The characters seem like real everyday people that grew up with us. I live in like a mining kind of like a blue collar town. So it really, really vibes for me. But it's just, you guys know by now that this is one of my all-time favorite slashers. So, of course, My Bloody Valentine is going into horror perfection. I know it takes some shit for that. I know that not everybody's a huge fan of that movie like myself. But I am, and I am never going to get off the mountain as I love My Bloody Valentine. All right. I'm not going to put all these movies in that I've never seen because, honestly, I haven't seen a bunch of these, which I'm sure a lot of people haven't either. But here's one that I should have probably watched, Scanners. Have not seen it. Regret not seeing it. I know it has one of the best head explosion scenes ever in cinema. So I kind of, you know, hating myself a little bit for not checking that out. But it's definitely on my have never not seen list. Here's one that probably most people have not seen. Super low budget. It is called The Pit. It's this little kid. He stumbles upon some monsters living in the ground. I don't even know. I don't know. They're just there. And he brings people to them and he pushes them in and they eat them. It's very strange. Very weird. This kid has like a very sexual relationship with like his, I don't know if it's his mom or his aunt. I've only seen this once. It's fucking strange, but it's like so bad that it could be kind of good. So I'm not going to put it at the bottom of the barrel. I'm going to put this movie at this movie is Jinx. It's so weird. I think it's worth a one-time watch if I'm going to be honest. Definitely go check it out. It's so fucking weird. So fucking weird. But I do recommend checking it out. What else we got here that Night School. Night School is a slasher I've always wanted to check out, but I have never, ever seen. So I'm going to put that on my have never not seen list because these are movies that I want to check out at some point. I just haven't, unfortunately, gotten around to it yet. Here comes another werewolf movie from 81. People love this movie. Great transformation in this one as well. Dee Wallace, the beloved Dee Wallace. I'm talking about The Howling. It's not one of my personal favorite movies. I'm not the biggest Howling guy, but it definitely deserves its place in Above the Fog because it's definitely in the middle of 81, in my opinion. If you're into werewolf movies, definitely check it out. And the ending is very interesting whenever she shows herself on live television that she is a werewolf and that it's a real thing. And they have like a werewolf camp, and it's just, it's weird. It's no American Werewolf in London, but that's usually the two that are battling it out. And the last movie that I am going to put on this list is a classic. It is a classic. It is The Burning, another camp slasher. Does it just as good, in my opinion, as Friday the 13th Part 2. So I am definitely putting that in horror perfection. So it's going to take a lot to get into my horror perfection list. So we got American Werewolf in London, Friday the 13th Part 2, My Bloody Valentine, and The Burning. Those are the top notch for me personally from the year 1981. I am looking forward to hearing what you guys think about this tier list. This is only the second one I've ever done, so it's probably not the greatest tier list in the world. And I tried my best. I'm not the best at these maneuvering between windows. I wish I had a real computer, a real laptop that I could do that, but I don't. So let me know where I messed up in this list. I would look forward to hearing your thoughts. Please excuse the editing. I'm not the best editor either. I'm not into these fucking pre-recorded videos, but you guys asked for them, and I want to deliver, and I want to do my best. And I put a poll out on YouTube. Do you guys want me to bring tier lists back? And 97% of the votes said yes. So this is the first one in my brought back line. Please let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Like the video and subscribe for more horror content. Definitely come hang out on live streams, whether we're doing them Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever. Click the bell so you're notified, and I will see you beautiful people in the next video. I love you guys very, very much. Enjoy your rest of your day.